This report, which finds Russia's Vladimir Putin probably directed a disinformation campaign meant to hurt the Biden campaign and undermine the 2020 election.
He will pay a price. We had a long talk. He and I know him relatively well. And the conversation started off, I said, I know you and you know me. If I establish this occurred, then be prepared.
You said you know he doesn't have a soul.
I did say that to him, yes. And his response was, we understand one another. I wasn't being a wise guy. I was alone with him in his office. That's how it came about. It was when President Bush had said, I've looked in his eyes and saw a soul. I said, looked in your eyes, and I don't think you have a soul. And looked back at me and said, we understand each other. Look, most important thing dealing with foreign leaders, in my experience, and I've dealt with an awful lot of them over my career, is just know the other guy.
So you know Vladimir Putin. You think he's a killer?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So what price must he pay?
The price he's going to pay, well, you'll see shortly.
Let's bring in now CNN White House correspondent John Harwood. We'll see shortly. That'll certainly make you sit and perk up your ears this morning. John?
That's right. I think we expect, Erica, that there will be additional sanctions placed on Russia. People close to Vladimir Putin U.S. officials have told my colleague, Kylie Atwood, are expected as early as next week. We've already seen earlier this month the president imposing sanctions on people close to Vladimir Putin and the FSB, the intelligence service, over the poisoning of Alexei Navalny. So you're going to see that. We saw in the case of Saudi Arabia, the United States said we have a policy of not sanctioning foreign leaders, so I presume that we will not see sanctions placed on Vladimir Putin directly, but he is likely to pay a price. And if you're Joe Biden, think about your motivation here. You've seen from this ODNI report about election interference that Russia was peddling this misinformation, and a lot of that misinformation was about Joe Biden's family, about his son Hunter. He has an extra personal motivation to take this very seriously.
Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and saying the water to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, for his Rakakwadias, his Holy Spirit. Double honors going out to the venerable apostles of the great millstone and the elders who rule and teach well. Salutations, peace, and blessings to the Bayafta without a house of David that's being raised up in these last days throughout the four corners of the earth. The Lord's people are waking up, beginning with his servants, the prophets, the men of the Lord, all right, who are standing on the four corners of the earth, preaching and teaching the good news of this gospel of the kingdom of heaven, on down to all those among Yasharallah who believe. I'm Shamar with the Men of Valor, South Carolina camp. And, hey, the rhetoric is, is becoming more and more intense, and right now, this is a war of words. And basically also, too, it's an act of war to place economic sanctions on a country. When you heard him, he's getting ready to, this creepy Joe, sleepy Joe, pedophile, pervert, child molester, getting ready to, place economic sanctions on the bear, man, on Gog and Magog, on Vladimir Putin, and not only on Putin in Russia, but, the nations that do business with them, man. Because Russia has a lot of financial interests with, in fact, some of America's allies, man. Russia does deals with Germany, France, okay? And, of course, Russia's locked in with Syria, their allies, okay? Hey, it starts with economic sanctions, and eventually, shots are going to be fired, man. And that's Bible prophecy. Right now, again, it's a war of words, man. And it is comical to hear, Joe Biden calls, Vladimir Putin soulless. He don't have a soul, all these men are demons, man. They're all devils, okay? And they're all being controlled at the end of the day. Yes, they have Jewish international bankers to report to, Amalek. But at the end of the day, man, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua controls the hearts of these kings, man, or the minds of these kings and princes and heads of state and presidents. All right, and that's in the scriptures, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to get that real quick. And at the end of the day, man, this tension and beef between Babylon and Gog and Magog is Bible prophecy, man. Russia's going to play a huge role, in her destruction, in this whore's destruction, man, in the downfall of America. All right. This is Proverbs, the 21st chapter, and the first verse. And it reads, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Right. And right now, he's going to send angels. He's going to put evil thoughts. These angels are going to put, the angels of the Lord are going to put evil thoughts in these leaders' heads, man. They're going to work on the minds or hearts of these kings. All right. The Lord's going to send, Biden's counselors, lying spirits, put lying spirits in the mouths of his counselors. Okay. To tell them, that they can go to war with Russia and win. They could go to war with China and win. There are going to be no winners in this World War III, man. The only winner is going to be Yahweh Shai, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, because he's coming back to dismantle the heathen armies in the Valley of Yehoshaphat, while America is already on fire. All right. And he's going to snatch the crowns off these kings' heads, man. And he's going to establish his kingdom. There are no winners, man. All these nations are going down. All right. But yeah, man, the Lord controls these kings, man. They're puppets. They're puppets on a string at the end of the day. Let me get one more precept to prove that. This is Daniel's. And this is going to be the 4th chapter and the 32nd verse. And it reads, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, talking about Nebuchadnezzar. You know how the Lord bugged him out, man. All right, it says, they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High, all right, who's the Most High? Yahweh, okay? And we come to the Most High through his Son, man, Yahweh Shai, all right? Until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. So, I mean, it was his will for Barack Obama to be president. It was his will for DJ Trump to be president. It was his will for Joseph Biden to be president, to be the king of Babylon for such a time as this. All right? But again, man, this tension and conflict between these two superpowers, is written in the scriptures, man. And it's not just Gog and Magog. You go into Ezekiel's the 38th chapter, and it goes into detail how Gog and Magog, or aka Russia, and certain nations like Gomer, which is Turkey, Libya, Persia, which is Iran, also called the Carmanians. Okay, it goes into these other nations. Okay, aligning and becoming allies and partners with Russia, man. Not to mention China. All right, China and Japan. Every nation with nuclear capability is gonna shoot their arrows on Babylon, man. The dragons of Arabia. You're gonna have Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, the dragons of Arabia, and even America's own allies. Okay. Nations who were once confederated or confederate with her come against her, man. Germany, France. Again, Germany and France, they do deals. They do business with Vladimir Putin, man. They have vested interests. They got something to lose if America starts. They got a lot to lose by America starting this with Russia. Okay, because they're allies for now. But again, something's getting ready to happen. Something major that's going to set this thing off, man. Again, the last prophecy that has to be fulfilled is the missiles have to start. Or, the last prophecy that has to be fulfilled prior to Yahushua's return in glory, Slakia, is these missiles have to start flying, man. And we're close to that taking place. So let me get a couple precepts. As you brothers, are already in the know on this. I've seen videos in my feed today. You've had several elders go into this, tension between the whore and Gog and Magog. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, And I'm going to start at the top, man. And the point I want to get to is in the 9th verse, but I'm just going to start at the top. And Salakia in advance, because I'm dealing with a little bit of a sinus issue today, so just bear with me. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 1. And it reads, the word that the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. The modern day land of the Chaldeans, their glory is in fact America, for the moment anyway. Okay? Who are the modern day Chaldeans? All right, it's them Jewish international bankers, man, the synagogue of Satan, the Amalekites, the bastards who were dwelling in Ashdod. It says, declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken. This is what we do on the highways and byways, man. Beginning with our elder apostles, the great millstone. We set up a standard out on the highways and hedges. That standard is this gospel, the kingdom, all right, the kingdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And we're publishing it and we're not concealing it. All right, this gospel's gone into the four corners of the earth. All right, that's how you know that the return of the Lord is nigh, man. All right, it says, say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded. Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. Right, man. And through the preaching of this word, again, we've broken her images, man. All right, we've destroyed her idols. The biggest one being Cesare Borgia. Okay, so-called Jesus. We've destroyed that idol and Christianity through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, just by preaching this word. All right. It says, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her. Now, if you look on a map, what giant country is north of America, man? Russia, man. Look at a map. Look at the west coast of look at the globe, man. All right, look at the west coast of America and then look at Russia. Okay? Out of the north, it says, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. In those days and in that time, verse 4 saith the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, all right, both kingdoms. All right, it says, going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, their power. And that's what's happening, man, because you got, brothers from all the tribes, linked up together, man. All right, a bunch of little sanctuaries throughout Babylon the Great, full of northern kingdom brothers and southern kingdom brothers, man. And what are we doing out there? We're seeking the Lord, man. We're out here seeking Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. We're seeking His face, man. We want to be part of that first fruit, those first fruits of salvation, man. That's why we're out there. All right. We putting our best foot forward in this truth, being in this flesh, seeking to make our calling and election sure. But this is Bible prophecy, man. And again, it's talking about the land of the Chaldeans. This right here, this is America, man. All right. Now, yeah, you got camps, all throughout the four corners popping up. But hey, where's the majority of the prophets in America, man? Okay. The bulk of the deliverance, all right, is going to be out of America, man. All right. It said Babylon the Great. It says they shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come and let us join ourselves to the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. Right. And who are the covenants for? Okay. Who are the covenants for? You ask Vocam Malone, he'll tell you anyone who believes in Jesus. Ask the Jude 3 Project, the leader of the Jude 3 Project, he'll tell you anyone who believes in Jesus can partake of the covenants. Well, that's not what Hebrews the 8th chapter and the 8th verse says. All right. It says the covenants are for the children of Israel and the children of Judah. All right. Also known as the northern and southern kingdoms, man. Matter of fact, let me hold that. Because, these Christians are making a buzz lately, coming back out of their holes, scoffing and being scornful. Nah, man, the covenants apply only to the 12 tribes, man. Let me get it in Hebrews, because if I go to the Old Testament, they'll say, well, that's the Old Testament. All right, well, how about this in Hebrews the 8th chapter? Is this New Testament enough for you? Oh, the book that was written to the Hebrews. This is Hebrews chapter 8 and verse Well, I'll start in 7. Hebrews 8 and 7. Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second one. So like it for the second. For finding fault with them, verse 8, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. All right, so who's this new covenant for, man? You know, because we as a people fell, and so that first covenant, okay, because that was our fault, we transgressed. So there had to be a new covenant established. But who was it established for? And who could partake in it? It says right here, the house of Israel and the house of Judah, man. All right. Verse 9, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. That's right, man. Because for a time, you know, the Lord turned his back on his people, but only for a season. Okay. That's why you have to be adopted back, man. We all had to be adopted back. Okay. Because we went off, man. All right. It says, for this is the covenant, verse 10, that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. This hasn't happened yet, because you'll hear these goofy ass Christians talking about, oh, we already in the new covenant. No, we ain't got the law, statutes, and commandments written in our inward parts, man. We ain't out here perfect, and we're still teaching, man. Because in the next verse, it talks about how, you know, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor. Why? Because in the kingdom of heaven, when this is fulfilled, okay, every Jake is gonna be privy to the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible and not go off. Back to Jeremiah 50. You know, Christianity is again has been destroyed and confounded, man. This is verse 6. Jeremiah 15, verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. These are the lost sheep that Yahweh himself said he came for, man. In Matthew's 15 and 24. Matthew's 10, 5 and 6. You know, he came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, man. He didn't come for any other nation. It says, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned, they have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. You know, because the Israelites have served captivity, you know, under all these, you know, different kingdoms and heathens. All right. And, you know, to this day, the 2/3 have forgotten their resting place, man. Their resting place is in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Now, 1/3 remnant is going to wake up to that fact, man. Okay. Prior to this destruction that's coming on America, aka Babylon the Great. But the 2/3, you know, are going to have to feel death by pain and be born again into the kingdom of heaven to experience this rest that's coming, man. Right? It says, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, verse 7, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the hope of their fathers. Right, man, because Esau knows that if you get our people to go off and sin, that connection is broken, man. All right, that connection is broken, like, for example, if you can get Jake to celebrate Christmas, if you get Jake to eat pork, if you get Jake to shave his head and get tattoos, that separates him from his power. And then the accuser, Esau Edom, can go to the Lord and say, see, they're going off, man. You know, but it's not going to work, man. Okay. It says remove out of, because ultimately the birthright belongs to Jacob. All right. It says remove out of the midst of Babylon, verse 8, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he goats before the flocks. Like, for lo, and this is the point, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. Okay. An assembly of great nations. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is assembling the nations. And I mentioned some of them earlier. Okay. Anyone with nuclear capability is going to shoot an arrow on this place, man. An ICBM. Okay. But there's great nations out there. Mighty, you know, superpowers. Iran, Gog and Magog, China, you know, which is Moab, according to the Bible. Okay. And you know, and there's other ones out there too, man. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. That's right. They're all, in other words, all the missiles that are shot are gonna hit their marks, are gonna hit their targets. Because ultimately, you know, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua's spirit's gonna be in them, guiding them over here to America, man. And you know, John the Revelator seen 200,000 of them. You know, so yeah, man, 200 million nuclear missiles, all right, are gonna turn this place into a desert wasteland, man. You know, so yeah, man. Again, you know, pretty soon the war of words escalate, you know, into a physical conflict. It's inevitable, man, and it's the judgment written for America to go down, man, to go down and to be burned, all right, and to burn and smoke and smolder forever and ever and ever. I don't want to write this out. You was edifying with that. I don't want to say shalom.